All right, let's get right into it. There's a situation brewing in Cleveland that, frankly, has the whole league raising an eyebrow. We're talking about Shedeur Sanders, the high-profile rookie QB. He was basically buried on the depth chart, and now all of a sudden he's been thrown into the starting role. It makes you wonder, and this is the big question from our source material, is this a huge opportunity, or is he being set up to fail?
I mean, this quote from the source, it just says it all, right? It's dramatic, it's a little bit cynical, and it perfectly sums up this bizarre turn of events. You've got a guy who seems totally sidelined until this almost unbelievable string of, well, let's call it bad luck for his teammates, changes absolutely everything.
So how in the world did we get here? It's a story that starts with a pretty shocking demotion and then somehow an even more shocking promotion.
Okay, so you know Shedeur Sanders. He's got the legacy, son of a Hall of Famer, Deion Sanders. He was a stone-cold clutch performer in college, put up some elite numbers. But when he gets to Cleveland, boom, buried, fourth string. And then, in a wild twist, he's suddenly starting the preseason opener? It's a total head spinner.
And this brings us right back to that gut check question. Is this just a lucky break? You know, the kind of thing every underdog QB dreams about? Or, as the source suggests, is there something more deliberate going on here, a situation that's actually designed for him to fail? So let's actually dig into the evidence for sabotage. The source makes a pretty strong argument that his initial low rank and, more importantly, his lack of prep time, well, that was an accident. It was calculated. It all started right here, fourth string. He was ranked behind the team's hand-picked starter, a veteran, and another guy they just brought in. The message, according to the source, was crystal clear. You are not our guy. And this is where it starts to feel a little off. The source reports that despite being number 4 on the chart, Sanders was actually statistically outplaying the other QBs in the offseason. His accuracy, his decision-making, they were all ahead of the curve, which makes that fourth-string spot feel weird.
So here's the most critical piece of the puzzle. This number. 0. That is the number of first-team practice reps Shedeur Sanders got before they named him the starter. Not just a few, not limited reps, 0. None.
And look, for any quarterback, first-team reps are like oxygen. It's everything. It's how you build timing with your receivers, how you get the rhythm with your starting O-line, how you build that critical chemistry. If you deny a quarterback those reps, you're basically denying him the tools he needs to do his job.
This quote from the source just perfectly sums up the whole sabotage argument, right? You throw him into a huge, nationally televised game with 0 real prep, and then if he struggles, the organization can just shrug and say, see, he wasn't ready. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But then, something happened that the team supposedly never planned for. The source calls it fate, maybe even divine intervention. A wild series of events that just completely detonated their quarterback depth chart. Just look at how fast this all went down. In the span of about a week, the team's top 3 guys all go down with injuries. A pulled hammy, a tweaked groin, a calf strain, one after another. And all of a sudden, the fourth stringer they had on ice is the only healthy arm left. I mean, you really can't make this stuff up. The irony is just undeniable. The source points out that the one player the team seemed so determined to keep on the sidelines is now the only guy they have to lead the offense. So this all leads to the big question. Why? Why on earth would a team allegedly do something like this? The source actually digs in and proposes 3 potential motives behind this whole supposed strategy. So the article breaks it down into 3 theories for why this might have happened. First, it's about protecting the existing hierarchy. Second, it could be a form of racial gatekeeping. And third, it might just be good old-fashioned contract politics. So let's unpack these. First, the status quo theory. The idea is, if Shedeur comes in and lights it up, it makes the front office look bad for their investment in the hand-picked starter. Second, gatekeeping. The source suggests that a confident, culturally visible black QB with a famous last name, well, that can still make the old guard in the NFL uncomfortable. And finally, politics. This one's simple. If he has a bad game, his future contract value could take a hit,
which gives the team all the leverage. So what's really at stake here? Because this isn't just about one preseason game. The source argues that the way a team handles a young quarterback can literally make or break their entire career. And history shows there are really two paths. The source points to guys like Dwayne Haskins or Vince Young, incredible talents who were arguably failed by their situations. And then you have players like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud, guys who thrived because their teams actually invested in them and supported them. It just goes to show how much is riding on this. This quote really drives the whole dilemma home. On the surface, it looks like a golden opportunity, but the source is arguing that it's fundamentally not a fair fight. It's a trap, just one that's disguised as a big break. And so, that's the question we're all left with. Shedeur Sanders has been working his whole life for a moment like this, but the circumstances, well, they couldn't be much worse. So when he steps on that field, will his raw talent and all that preparation be enough to overcome a situation that seems designed to make him fail? I guess we're all going to have to watch and find out.